Bonjour and hello everyone. Welcome to Queer French Farmhouse, the podcast about being queer as an expat living in France and renovating a house, or in my case, half a chateau. Hello guys, welcome back to the podcast. It's another Saturday and it's time for another podcast. And I thought today, I was thinking about like a topic for today, and then it actually hit me that there's so much going on in my life right now and so many changes and so many things that I am adjusting to, that I would like to talk to you about it and about like how my first experiences are with having a bed and breakfast and being here. So if you hear any weird noises, I'm sitting on the couch with Anita right next to me in my lap. If you don't know, Anita is my dog. She's a Whippet mix. And yes, we've had quite a tough night. Yesterday night we had quite a big thunderstorm going on, which lasted almost all night long. It was so tiring. I think like we all slept about 2 hours. So excuse me if I don't make sense sometimes. So it's been the second week of having the B&B up and running, and it is an adjustment to make in life. I think it's also because, let me take you back. So I have renovated this house for 7 months now, and I've been on my own. Yes, I almost every evening I spend the evenings with my boyfriend, but on the other hand, it's like mostly during the day I'm alone here. I'm like doing my thing. I've been renovating. I've been focused on doing all the updates to the house and doing all the things that needed to be done. And then came the day where like things are not finished by far. I mean, still I've got like lots of construction sites going on here, but like it was time to open, and it was time to like show the world and let everybody in, and also like to earn money ultimately, because also like I was draining my saving accounts for all these renovations, and now I just need to like work a bit to like accumulate some more money to keep on renovating. So yeah, it's been like 2 weeks, and it's been quite the ride of like so many like nice people and so many things that I got to know about myself, basically, because it is a lot. First of all, it's a lot of work. I'm preparing breakfast every morning, and sometimes I have also people who want dinner. Dinner's optional here, so it always depends on whether the people want some dinner or not. But and in between that, I have to like change the sheets, clean the rooms, clean bathrooms. So it is quite the workload, all in all. And I knew I was getting myself into like quite the workload, and I'm slowly finding like a good way to deal with it, and a good kind of like system on how to clean and how to be efficient and fast, but actually like clean properly and because I think there's nothing worse than being somewhere and it's not clean and you feel like it isn't clean enough. And I mean, I'm part German basically, so I mean, talk to me about cleaning. I could go on for hours about that, but so it's been a lot of work, and I think I'm also like at the same time I've been alone for a really long time, and I think also in this state of overwhelm because so many things happen. Like I didn't think I would move to France this quickly. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I have a new partner. Just like so many things happen. Like I've had a crisis at work. Then we've had like lots of personal things going on with people dying, and it's just been like it's been intense, like I'm telling you, intense. And I think it's like I didn't really like, I did, and then I didn't again allow myself to like breathe properly. I think like the 2 weeks before I opened, my parents came over for the first 2 weeks of August, and I thought like, okay, this is going to be more of a like vacation thing, but somehow this also turned into like a workation, because I mean so many things needed to be finished. So I was just like pushing through those 2 weeks, and yes, we still did like one or two fun things, but it was also mostly about like getting things done. And it's like, I think I always have to like deal with my anxieties, and this like anxiety is like a big topic that I want to talk about, because it's really hard not to be anxious for me when I have people staying here. And it's not about the people staying here, it's more about that I'm worried that people might not like it, or I get worried that people might not feel good, or that they might not like the food, or all these kinds of things that just like get me going and tripping, and like it goes round and round in my head. Like yesterday when we had this huge, or tonight when we had this huge thunderstorm, I was also thinking like, oh gosh, it's probably really loud underneath the roof, because it's like on the second floor, so it's just the roof above, and when it rains it can get quite loud up there. So I was like, oh, and it's really loud, and I hope the people can sleep, and I'm really sorry. But then again, I know I can't change the weather, and I didn't make it rain, I didn't make the thunderstorm, but still, then I feel anxious, and then this keeps me awake, and then in the end I think I slept like 2 hours, like I said, because I was being anxious, and because I was like having all these thoughts about like what would happen, and are people feeling well. It's just like, I think the very first night I had people staying as well, like I heard them walking around in the room, and this sounds really creepy, but I don't mean it in a creepy way. I mean, they're on the floor above me, and it's an old house. You hear people walking around, which is absolutely fine. But then I was also like getting worried, because I was thinking like, oh, what if they don't feel well, or what if they find like looking for something but they're not finding it, and like all these things. And it's so weird. I don't even know why I'm getting into these thoughts, but I think it's just like, I want to do well. I also want to like, if I have people staying here, I also want them to feel good, so it's a lot about that, I think, for me. And yeah, but also like the anxiety of people being in my house. And this is just like I think this has been like a huge topic for me, and a huge adjustment, because I've been alone for all this time, and I've been alone in the house, and I've gotten so used to being also the house being quiet, and me being able to do whatever I want at whatever time I want. And now I feel like, and I know that it's the feeling that resides within me, and that's not like, it's not got to do with other people, it's more me, that I feel like, oh, I can't make noise, or like, what if I'm too noisy? What if people are disturbed by me being here? And then I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, it's also my house, It's like, I can't stop existing, and people know that they're coming into my house. So it's, I think, like finding a balance between those two. And this is really hard for me to like just really not get into like ninja mode, because I'm really good at this. I'm really good at taking myself back, and I just have this sort of personality. I like take myself back, I withdraw, and then I try to be like blend in and be like, oh, I'm just part of the furniture, don't mind me, And then I get this feeling like, oh, but this is, I feel like I'm taking myself back in my own home, which feels very odd. And then I get these thoughts like, oh, maybe I did wrong, maybe it's not the way to go, maybe I shouldn't do it, maybe I should do something else. And it's like, I don't know, I think it's a matter of adjustment, to be all honest. And I think it's also a matter of like, just getting experience and maybe also seeing, it's like if I discover in the next 6 months or 12 months that I'm too stressed out about it or I'm too anxious, then I'll need to find ways to make it work, I need to find ways to maybe look for other solutions on how to run this and how to deal with it and how to feel comfortable in my own home while hosting guests. Or maybe, which is also fine, like to say, like, I've tried, but it's just not working, and then maybe I just need to like refocus. I also thought like maybe it's better to just have retreats, have like one retreat per month where I have like, or 2 retreats per month where I really take intensive care for like a group of people for like 6 nights, 5 nights, 4 nights, whichever, and then they're gone after that, and then I can like, then I know it's like set amount of time, and then people are gone again. I don't know. I think it's a matter of like finding out, a matter of like trying and being open, and trying to like analyze how this goes without forcing it, because I think if I start forcing it at one point, it just won't make me happy. And then if it won't make me happy, it's kind of like, why am I doing it? It's like I really want to find something that's making me happy, and it does make me happy to take care of people, absolutely. And I think I'm quite good at it. But on the other hand, it's like I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I don't want to take myself back as much as I used to, because I feel like I'm in my mid-30s. I'm 36 now, so I think I just also need to live how I want to live and not adjusting my life constantly to other people, because that's what I've been doing most of my life. I've always done lots of compromises. I've always taken myself back, which, as I said, it's not other people's fault. It's my very own, if you can call it fault, it's my very own kind of like weird thing, that I do. It's part of my personality. So I think it's a matter of going with the flow and trying to figure it out, and like in between checking in with myself. And I think if you're in a similar situation, and then I think it's good to know you're not alone, first of all, and second of all, that every new situation takes time to evolve, to just to be here and to experience it and give it the time to experience it. And then afterwards you can still say, okay, I've made this experience and this didn't necessarily make me happy, or I need to find something else, or need to find a different way of dealing with it. Maybe I just need to reduce it and to just say like 2 weeks in the month I do this and 2 weeks I don't. I don't know. I'll have to it's all about finding the system, and it's all about like also not comparing yourself, because that's what I also tend to do. It's like I either compare myself to others, or I start comparing myself to like hotels, or like I start sometimes being even negative, because I'm like, oh, what if people are annoyed by this? But at the same time, it's like I can't provide the same service a hotel would, which I think like if someone books a B&B, then I guess they know that I just can't, So it's all these kind of like thoughts and worries that are going on inside of me right now. And at the same time, I think I'm very proud, and I got like 3 really good reviews from last week, which I was very happy about. And I was just like, I've met also like super interesting people so far, and like everyone is so different, and it's also good for me. And I think at the same time, it's also like there was this anxiety in the very beginning about speaking French for me as well. And I'm also just like starting to let this go and be like, you know what? It's like my French is what it is, and I'm making mistakes, and it won't be perfect. And I just need to I learn, and I'm learning it, and I'm in the process of it, and I need to allow myself to make mistakes and to just talk and not be anxious or afraid of it, or being afraid of basically it's being afraid of people judging me by the state of my French, because sometimes I really feel like an idiot because I can't express myself the way I can in the 3 other languages I speak. I can but I do see a change happening, it's like the more I converse, the more I actually immerse myself. And I mean, it's been 8 months that I've been living here, and my French has improved so much. And at the same time, like anything in life, I'm a perfectionist, so I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I tend to put a lot of pressure on wanting to speak perfectly, or wanting to, seeing myself and being like, oh, I've spent 8 months here and my French is still not as good as a native speaker. And this is I just have to let go of that idea, because it's fine. I won't ever be a native speaker in French. Or maybe I will, but maybe in 10 years' time and not in 8 months. And it all takes time. It all takes, also just being chill about it and not freaking out about every single bit and piece, and, being worried about maybe making mistakes. Or I think it's the same rules apply to the B&B. It's I will make mistakes, or I will forget things, and I will forget to tell people things, or yeah. But it's gonna be fine, because it's a learning curve, and I'm not a 5-star hotel. And I think if you're honest, and if you're open-minded, and if you're being nice, then usually people are understandable, and usually people are recognize that you're putting in work, and that you're actually trying to make them feel comfortable as much as you can. But yeah, it's all a journey. And and also it's just been a whole lot. I mean, it's I have YouTube, so I mean, if you are interested, I have a YouTube channel. You can find me also as the Demi-Château. It's also linked in the description box, in the show notes. And I also have the podcast that you're listening to right now. So if you like the podcast, please subscribe to it, and give me a rating, and maybe you want to write a little review about the podcast so far. So that's why I also decided to have just 12 episodes in the podcast, so 2 more episodes after this one, because it's a lot of work, sitting down, recording everything, and going through it, uploading it. It's all of these facets. It's just a lot of work. And I realized step by step, it's even though I implement systems, and even though I'm quite organized, it still takes a lot of me, It's running the B&B is really, really taking up a lot of time. It's very demanding to, clean and prepare food and do everything. So I think I just need to kind of find my way, and accept that sometimes things won't work out the way, and maybe it won't work out, maybe this B&B won't work out, which is fine. It's I will not allow myself to feel like I failed, because I haven't. I have given my best, and we'll see from there. And it's also quite strange that I talk about this after 2 weeks of being open. So it's just there you get where I am with my thought process, and how I feel about things, and how I deal with things. But yeah, maybe if you're similar, it's quite helpful to know that these things go on in all of us. and they're just normal thought processes. So yeah, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any suggestions also for the next 2 episodes or for season 2, which will probably come out in winter, then give me, write me up an email maybe. You can find my contact form and email on my website, and it's all in the show notes. And I shall see you or hear you or talk to you next week. And all that's left to say is à bientôt et au revoir from the southwest of France.